Well, hello, race fans. Welcome to episode number 3 of the Road to Indy Insider Live. My name is Rob Howden, the voice of the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires, and I've got a couple of great guests joining me today. It's cool to say this because it's been, almost 4 months, but it's actually race week. I can't believe it. We're actually headed to the racetrack, and I know that the two drivers that I'm going to talk to today feel the same way as all the other drivers do, of course, here in the Road to Indy. It's been a tough break here with the whole COVID-19 pandemic. Finally able to get things underway. Of course, so much of the U.S. opening up and getting rolling again. But the great thing is, of course, motorsports competition is back. IndyCar's already been back. NASCAR, of course, has been back. Big weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway with Xfinity Cup and the NTT IndyCar Series being on track. Scott Dixon scoring the race win in the GMR Grand Prix on the road course in Indianapolis. It is race week, so the Road to Indy is back. Indy Pro 2000 and USF 2000 will take to the track this coming weekend at Road America. As we know, though, we will not see Indy Lights, and that is kind of a tough thing, but just the way kind of things were shaking down, and obviously Roger Penske and his crew at IndyCar, Danny Anderson and Michelle Kish, everyone at Anderson Promotions, decided that it might be a good idea to put off Indy Lights for 1 year. And I would like to have seen it continue on, I think. Numbers, there was potential to lose a couple of drivers because sponsors weren't able to get out to the racetrack for hospitality, which is obviously key to any of the hospitality program, any of the sponsorship and marketing programs that get put together. Indy Lights, though, is going to be on hiatus. I firmly believe it's going to come back with a vengeance in 2021. Roger Penske, of course, has made some statements in the media how they're looking to making moves, bringing in more programs to support Indy Lights, which I think is huge for the whole Road to Indy, of course. In addition, we've got the series in the FR America series. We'll be providing a scholarship through Honda to have their champion come over. Of course, our Indy Pro 2000 champion will move up as well. Kyle Kirkwood still waiting in the wings with his scholarship that he won last year at Indy Pro 2000. I have a feeling we're going to see between 14 and 16 cars. I'm going to throw it out there. It may be 13 or 14, but I just have a feeling we're going to see some momentum for Indy Lights in 2021. It sucks to have them on a hiatus right now. The fact that there won't be a Freedom 100, easily one of the best motorsports races all year long. We're not going to see that this year when we get to Indianapolis in August, but hopefully it'll be back in the month of May in 2021. So let's jump into this thing because, again, we just had a test last week, an official test at Mid-Ohio. A vast majority of the drivers in both USF 2000 and Indy Pro electing to get to Mid-Ohio to get some seat time there. And we're actually on track Thursday and Friday. It's not going to be Saturday, Sunday. That'll be just IndyCar at Road America. Road to Indy will be Thursday and Friday. I'll fill this in here right now. There won't be any live video throughout the weekend. I know we've had some great Road to Indy TV coverage throughout the last couple of years. We won't have that at Road America. We probably won't have it at the next race either at Mid-Ohio, simply because the camera operators aren't there. IndyCar won't be there until Saturday and Sunday, so the camera operators from the IMS Productions won't even be there till Friday night. So no access to video for us, but we will have the live audio. I'll be on the PA with Eric Mueller there at Road America, so there will be live audio throughout the weekend. Of course, live timing on the Road to Indy TV app. And I'm also planning to do maybe a couple of Road to Indy Insider interviews as well. I'll be in our hospitality trailer, and we'll get the drivers in their trailers on their laptops. And we'll do some interviews with guys potentially who are showing well in practice, whatever it may be. A lot of back-to-back races throughout the doubleheader weekend, so we'll be hammered down on Friday for sure as we go back-to-back with USF and Indy Pro. A little bit of a break, and then the second rounds as well. So joining me here today, let's get right into the meat of this thing now. I have the two scholarship drivers, which I thought would be a great idea before we get the season started underway. Prescott Campbell, of course, the winner last year in the Lucas Oil Formula Car Series. And I also have Braden Eves, who won the USF 2000 championship last year. Both those drivers now racing for Exclusive Autosport. Let me fire things up. Let me bring the boys in here. I'm the producer and I'm the show host. This is great. Guys, Braden, Prescott, thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us on, Rob.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, let's get started first. And before we jump into talking about Mid-Ohio, let's talk about how things kind of went through this last ludicrous 4 months. Braden, I know you and Prescott both did a bunch of iRacing with the Road to Indy E-Series. I'm sure you both got sick of it when it was all said and done because we were so much seat time practice trying to get dialed in. It was good to get out. I know both of you guys got out and did some karting, I think, as well. But Braden, how did things go for you during the 4 months we've been off?
It was crazy. It was different. It was definitely a time that I will probably remember for the rest of my life.
Right.
As you know, the longest time that I haven't been racing, and it was rough. But you know, as drivers, we kind of rely on that for something to look forward to all the time. So I feel like we all had to kind of look to other ways to keep entertained. And I don't know. I feel like now I've learned a lot in the off season. I've just matured as a person, and I'm ready to go racing again.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I've watched you guys, both of you, come through the karting ranks, and every year you're a different young man, right? Every year means more and more. And of course, when you get into the road to Indy, Prescott, you're going to deal with this year, not deal with it, but you'll experience it where you go from being this raw rookie, and then next year you'll be a totally different guy with a totally different mindset, and everything will change based on what you've done. I want to keep going with Braden first, and I'll come back to Prescott. Let's talk about the Road to Indy E-Series, Braden. You're obviously very good at the sim. You do a lot of sim racing. You're part of Apex Racing team, the sim team. But I know that near the end of it, man, we were racing every week. I'm sure that you were thrilled when you got a chance to go and finally get out to do a kart, actually drive something real.
Oh yeah, sim racing is fun and all, but man, it's a good supplement to real racing. But without real racing, man, it gets old pretty quick.
That's it. Hey, Prescott, how about you, man? How was your break? I know you were still in school, so you were working pretty hard throughout the entire thing. How was the 3.5 months for you? Braden's at an RV park in Wisconsin. I don't think, is he locked up on us right now?
I think he's locked up.
I think he might have locked up. Prescott, if you're still listening, go out of the show, come back in, and we'll dial you in again. In fact, I'll remove him from the show here. That way he can kick him from the studio. He can come back and get back dialed in. Not the greatest internet access from that RV park. Braden, let's talk about off-season training. Did you? You're a young guy. Did you hit the fitness pretty good as well?
Yeah. It was. I had to improvise when the gyms were closed, but the gyms opened up. Late in May. So I've been going hard at the gym lately. Almost every day. Working with a trainer, so it's been fun. I feel like I'm in really good shape again, and I'm ready to go racing.
I wish I could say the same thing. I put on the COVID-19, so it's not. I got into a kart last week, and it was rough, but I felt really good driving it. Let's bring Prescott back in. You with us, Prescott? You working? Poor Prescott's getting locked up on us. Prescott, can you hear us? I feel like I'm on like the radio stand trying to call a driver.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Your mouth isn't moving on the TV, but we can hear you. How are things been in your deal? Your COVID shutdown. That's all right. No worries. I just don't think we have good enough access for internet for Prescott right now. Can you hear it?
I hear your question, but during this whole, I can hear you guys just a bit.
All right, you go. Keep going.
Yeah, but during this whole lockdown thing, lockdown time, out of the car. Sorry?
You're good. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, during this whole off season, it's been different not being in the car, not being racing. I haven't been wheel to wheel since September of last year. And now that it's been a lot longer for some of the Indy drivers. Laguna Seca's race last year was the last time they were wheel to wheel. And for me, it's been very different. I was expecting to be traveling UK and the US for each race. But since this whole pandemic has began, my school in the UK, Oxford University, they went completely online like many other universities did. And I managed to stay home in California. I spent a lot of time with my family. Really nice and something I didn't expect this year. And really just train. I haven't gone consistently to the gym since I broke my leg in karting last year, being so busy with school and travel and things. So I've really been able to work on myself in that way and improve before the season begins. We've been in the car testing, practicing, but I just can't wait to go wheel to wheel, be on a proper grid for a restart.
So let's talk about that test. Braden, we'll start with you, Mid-Ohio. Of course, I was at home here and, of course, watching all the on live timing. And there were never any times for Braden Eves. And I know I heard that you guys had some kind of a transponder issue. All I know is that I wanted to know how fast you were. I found out that you were unbelievably quick, but it seemed to me like you guys were being like super secretive with the live timing not working with your transponder.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people thought we were doing it on purpose, but it was just a little jumbled of a day. The transponder didn't work, and then we had a couple other electrical things that we had to sort, so the transponder wasn't exactly the priority at the time.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the other teams were timing me anyway, so
Yep.
I'm sure they know how quick I was, and I know how quick I was. Ultimately, it's just a test, so it is what it is. But everyone will see when we come to Road America.
Well, listen, we had one session at St. Petersburg before we had to all shut down and get out of the paddock and head back and kind of wait it out here for 3.5 months. You were the fastest driver there. You had really good pace in the times that I've been told by the team at Mid-Ohio. You've got to have a lot of confidence right now going into Road America. We'll talk more about Road America, but it sounds like it was a pretty good test for you. You were putting down big lap times.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, me and my engineer Merle have chemistry like I've never had before. So like I can, it's only a couple sentences and a few times in the pits, and it feels like whatever we roll out with, it's perfect after a couple times in the pits. So it's we have crazy good chemistry, and the engineering at Exclusive Autosport is just on another level. So it gives me so much confidence to know that the car is going to be there no matter where we go.
Prescott, Braden obviously has a year of Road Indy experience, having won the USF 2000 last year. So, he's got a familiarity, of course, with the whole program. I know that you came out to a bunch of races last year as well. What are your thoughts on how the test went at Mid-Ohio? If he comes in there. I think we've probably lost Prescott. Oh, there you go. Keep going.
We have a lot to take away from that test day. But especially us. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Oh, good? Okay. Yeah, so, we appreciate that second spring training day, the Road to Indy rescheduled for us, and, of course, Mid-Ohio for hosting it. And, that day really allowed us to get back into the groove, back into the competitive side of things, being on track for an official session with all the other driver teams for the first time since St. Pete. I think Road America is going to be very interesting and competitive. Like Braden said, it's going to be a big confidence game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Prescott, have you had the time at Road America? I don't know if you've tested it all with the team at Road America yet, or did you run there in the Lucas Oil car?
Yeah, I think the calendar is very interesting this year. I've been to Road America before. I raced there several times at the Lucas Oil School of Racing. But I think the type of racing that will happen at the track will be very different. In the U.S. Lucas cars, those cars have no wings. They have treaded tires, and the racing is a lot of pack racing, especially at a track with the straightaways like Road America. It's almost impossible to pull away from a pack in the Lucas cars. Whereas in USF they have wings. I think that it won't be as much of a draft pass race, but who knows? It could be similar. Hopefully it is, because I've definitely had experience with that sort of racing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Braden will obviously be able to give you a lot of information from what he's done there before. Braden, we're coming in here starting at Road America. One of the things I talked to Stingray, Rob, and Michael D'Orlando about last week was the fact that normally Mid-Ohio is kind of the midway through the season, where that's kind of I use that as a race where the rookie drivers kind of step up and get strong. They make their debut at St. Petersburg, which is so tough because the track is just, it's obviously sketchy, concrete canyon, as I always call it. Road America is going to be a lot different. St. Pete's at the end of the year now. Do you think that's going to play? Like, is this track tough for somebody brand new coming to the program, you think?
You talking about
Road America? Road America.
Yeah.
As a rookie, right?
It's not a high grip circuit by any means. It's a low grip circuit, and it's very, very narrow, and the carousel can be quite sketchy, especially depending on how your car is handling. So it's a track that because it's so long, in the practice sessions you usually don't get you don't see each corner as many times as you would at like a Mid Ohio.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Last year when we had a 30-minute practice session and then went straight into qualifying, we only got, I think, 9 laps. So we only saw each corner 9 times, and then it's instantly straight into qualifying. And as a rookie, you're going against people that have 1 or 2 years more experience than you, and you're just having to get up to speed right away. So it's definitely one of the trickier circuits. Not quite as tricky as St. Pete because you don't have the walls there, but I thought, IMS was a really good second race on the schedule because that was really where I got comfortable in the car and really was able to elevate my driving there.
That's a really good point about Road America with the laps being so long. Like you said, you don't get a lot of time, and like turn 6, top of the hill, blind entry. The whole carousel coming through Canada Corner. There's tough parts of that racetrack, and if you're only getting 9 laps before qualifying, that's tough.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Prescott, let's talk about Road America a little bit. Based on how things went at Mid Ohio, how do you feel? What kind of expectations do you have for yourself for the first round?
We did a day at Road America during the something. I think it'll be very nice to have a full day practice on Thursday because of the reason Braden said. The lap time is so long that you don't get many laps in practice sessions. So I think that'll be really nice for us and everybody in the road to Indy right now, and just really allow us to dial things in before we go racing on Friday. Of course, the goal just to be top of the beginning. Everybody's going to be improving so much each session that it's so difficult to catch up. You need to start at the top. So that's the goal. It's going to be very competitive, like I said, and definitely a challenge, but we're up for it.
That's awesome. All right, I got a question coming in here from Casey Ackerman. This one's for Braden. It says, question from Grove City, Ohio. What's Braden's favorite place to eat in Central Ohio?
Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for this question.
Come on, man. If I'm coming to your area, I'm a foodie, right? I love my food. Where do I got to go?
Yeah. See,
like, are you a sushi guy or are you a burger guy? What's your deal?
I'm not like a super expensive food kind of guy. I like seafood. I like burgers. I like Italian food a lot.
All right.
My team owner actually just visited my house yesterday because he was kind of in the area. He went to go pick up a bike. But we ended up eating Olive Garden last night.
Yeah, Michael Duncalf says Olive Garden's your place. Nice height. Well, listen, Alicia loves Olive Garden too, so I'm not gonna. What's the best burger in your area? I'm a burger guy.
Best burger? Oh,
yeah.
It's really disappointing. There was a place. It is pretty local to Central Ohio called Max and Irma's.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of a chain, but it's more like a Central Ohio type place, and it's kind of a business. And we used to go there all the time, and they make a really good burger.
Here's a great question from David Cole, my man over at eCartingNews.com. He asks, have Braden and Prescott ever been on the kart track at the same time? I don't believe they have, as Prescott ran shifters and Eves primarily in tag. Have you guys ever been on track together in a kart or like going head to head?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
To be honest, I don't even know that we really raced for the same series much at all.
Well, I think you guys both did the Exclusive Pro Tour at one point, I believe.
They're on track.
What's that, Prescott? We'll give you the weight here. Go.
Yeah, I don't think Braden and I have ever been on track racing together. We've definitely been at the same events, some of the Pro Tour events, since when I began racing those. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to be racing against each other this year. Hopefully we can arrange something to get out of the kart track someday.
Well, here's my thought, because we're talking listen, there's some studs under this tent from karting with Exclusive Autosport. Eves is a Pro Tour winner. Prescott's obviously a badass shifter driver. Christian Brooks is still ranked number 4 on eCarting News, and Josh Pearson was 3rd last year on the Pro Tour in IAME Junior. We need to have a 4-driver battle, for sure, somewhere.
We need to have that. We need to have that.
Right?
We have some karting discussions. I know Michael hates it, but because he just likes to talk about cars all the time. But me and Christian especially, man, we got a love for karting in our hearts still. So
Yeah.
I'm always down for a karting race between us or anything. Talk about karting.
I think we'll figure something out. I'll get on track with you guys too. That'll be fun. We'll run 206s so I can hang with you maybe. You gotta run my weight too. You gotta run 375. You can't run 345 like you lightweights.
I'd have like 100 pounds in my go-kart.
You would. Here you go. Here's David Cole's call. He goes, how about a 2020 Super National team for Exclusive Autosports?
You could see that. There's been talks.
Oh, there has been talks.
There's been talks. I can't leave out or can't expose too much information, but Michael and I have definitely had talks.
What do you think, Prescott? Are you all about having an Exclusive Autosport team at the Super Nationals?
Hey, no, I haven't been in a go-kart since I broke my leg in a pro shifter event last year. But yeah, I miss the Super Nat. But it feels like forever, you know. That event is so special. It's incredible. Racing under the lights sometimes, if you're lucky and get put into the night group.
Yeah.
I miss it, and I definitely want to go back there. And I think an exclusive. I'll have to bring it up to Michael. An exclusive karting team. That's a good idea, I think.
I think with the amount of guys you have, the talent you guys have, you get to win some races for sure. That's pretty badass. Let's wrap this thing up. Obviously, we're struggling a bit with Prescott. We got about a 10-second delay on him right now. Braden, when you go into Road America on Thursday and Friday, I know as always, your expectations are to win races. What is the strategy going in right now? Is it just to kind of play to your strengths at that racetrack?
Yeah, from my perspective, first and foremost, the plan is always to make sure that I'm giving the feedback to get the car as perfect as I can get it. We're gonna have a lot of testing time there.
Yeah.
I believe we have upwards of 3 hours of testing on the first day. So that's like the most amount of testing we've ever had on an official race weekend in Road to Indy. So it's going to be, we don't have to be, it doesn't have to be banging anything out super quickly because we're going to have so much time. So it's just going to be relaxed. I'll get up to speed and then instantly, start working with my engineer. But I think it's just going to be look at the weekend and just, try not to get a disadvantage and try to get good points and not do anything stupid. But obviously, I'm always going to be hungry for that win.
Yeah. Single car team under the Exclusive Autosport tent as well. You don't have a teammate in Indy Pro 2000. I have to think that this 3.5 hours of testing time will play well for you at that point. It gives you more time to catch up as opposed to having a short amount of time.
Yeah. To be honest, my team, I never look at it as catching up with those guys because they're so good.
Okay.
If anything, when I go to the track, every time it's been, man, this car is so good, and everyone else has been catching up to us. But having the more testing time definitely makes it a lot more predictable. If you roll out of the trailer randomly with not a good setup or you're struggling for some reason, kind of like we kind of struggled at Cape last year at Mid-Ohio. If for whatever reason, you're struggling, then it gives you time and makes it a lot more predictable. So it doesn't leave as much out for just chance at that point.
Indeed. Prescott, 3 cars in USF 2000. Yourself, Christian Brooks, and Josh Pearson will be running this weekend as well. So you got 3 guys, 3 different levels of input coming in. But the bottom line is you get to make your debut with the scholarship colors at Road America. Tell me how excited you are to get to Wisconsin. Or you're already there, let's say, to get to the track.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be representing the Road to Indy Scholarship Program and the Luxor School of Racing Scholarship, which I managed to get from winning the championship last year. And I think since we're running a repetitive program with 3 really talented drivers going into the series, I think the fact that they were planning to run in all 3 Road to Indy series this year shows their devotion to the Road to Indy. And I think Exclusive is going to be definitely a team to watch out for this year in USF.
All right. What about yourself, though? What's your focus? What's a good weekend for you? Are you wanting top 10s? Are you wanting top 5? What's your focus right now? What are your expectations as a rookie coming in for Road America?
Want to be up front. The goal is to win the championship this year. And we got to start off on the right foot. Being a rookie coming into the series, it's difficult to top the drivers that have experience, several years experience even. In USF 2000, they have the car and the track knowledge. But I think I've got a really smart team behind me. We have the knowledge and to be able to jump that gap and lack of experience and beat these guys. We just have to make sure that we're focused. We don't leave any session or any lap to waste. Just make the most of every bit of time I have in the car.
All right, there we go, folks. We'll wrap things up. Of course, some issues with Prescott. A little bit of a delay from the RV park where he's waiting to get into the racetrack. Of course, we're going to be there Thursday and Friday. Braden, thank you so much for joining me, bud. I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. Same to you, Prescott. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Rob. And thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
All right, we'll drop these guys out of here and wrap things up. Folks, that's obviously a great show there, talking to these guys and getting things ready to get dialed in for this particular program. Let me fire this up here like this. Boom, like that. Again, we're excited to get to this track because it's time to get this season underway. Road America is going to be a tremendous race. Braden and I were actually talking before we came on the show. Lineup's looking really, really strong for the Indy Pro 2000 category. BN Racing wasn't at the Mid-Ohio test. They'll have Sabra Cook and Jacob Loomis as well. And neither of the drivers from Paps Racing were at the test either. Of course, Hunter McElroy and Colin Kaminsky going to be two to watch out for. D-Force looks very, very strong. We know how quick as well Braden was for Exclusive Autosport. Stingray Robb was on top for a couple of the sessions. Daniel Frost, of course, coming in as well. Daniel looking strong there with his team with Turn 3 Motorsports, who he'll run with alongside Antoine Camo. We've got Devlin DiFrancesco coming into the program as well. I talked about the lineup at D-Force with Parker Thompson and Manuel Sulam and Corey Enders and Moises de la Vera. It's going to be a stout field, and it's what I expected as well, the growth of that category for the drivers in Indy Pro 2000. I talked about Indy Lights being gone for this year and how it's kind of sad that we're putting them on hiatus. But I've said this many times before. People talk about what's wrong with Indy Lights. Why don't we have any drivers? The transition from the old car in Pro Mazda to the new PM18 meant we only had 6 full-time drivers in 2017 that year. It's taken some time to rebuild Indy Pro 2000, which then is what feeds Indy Lights. So once we get to 18, 20 drivers in Indy Pro 2000, there's going to be enough drivers to feed Indy Lights, and that's when we're going to get back to the 14, the 16, and the 18-car grids in the Indy Lights program. And, of course, with the support of Roger Penske as well, I expect things will step up big time as well. But Thursday and Friday, the guys mentioned it. We have, I want to say the morning, they're calling it a test session in the morning, official practice in the afternoon, and then we do all our race qualifying and racing on Friday before we shut things up, get out of the paddock. Everybody comes in for IndyCar, their doubleheader on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us here, folks. I do appreciate it. Let me fire up a couple extra things here. I'll turn this particular podcast or the show into a YouTube show as well. It'll be put up on my YouTube channel. I'll tweet that out. I'll get that out there. We've also got the Podbean podcast. I turn it into an audio podcast as well, because I know a lot of people have messaged me and said, hey, they really like the video format, but they love listening to it when they're driving on the road or working out, whatever it may be. So I'll make sure I turn it into a podcast on Podbean. That's available, of course, on iTunes and Google Play as well. So we do appreciate you tuning into that. But big thank you to the guest I had here today, Braden Eves of Exclusive Autosport, and, of course, his teammate as well, Prescott Campbell. Prescott already in Wisconsin, just near Fond du Lac, getting ready to head to Road America on Wednesday. I know we're all super excited to get back on the racetrack. And I know those of you who follow the Road to Indy because you're an NTT IndyCar Series fan, and you want to see these young drivers while they're developing coming up the ranks. We look forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully you'll come early. Hopefully you'll come. If you're coming to the track, you'll be there on Friday. Get a chance to see these drivers get back at it, because we've got double headers in both categories. And I'm like Braden. I'm up in the air on who's going to be able to show really, really well out of the gates. I think there are multiple championship contenders in both USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000. I think it's going to be a ton of fun to watch. Folks, thank you so much for joining me here on the third episode of Road to Indy Insider Live. I'm Rob Howden, the voice of the Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires. Tune into the Road to Indy TV app on any of the websites as well. Live audio only this coming weekend. As I said at the top of the broadcast, we don't have the cameras up. The people from the camera operators from IMS Productions won't be there till Friday night, so there's no opportunity for us to get video. I will try to do a couple of these interviews trackside. We'll see how that works with my internet card. We'll get the drivers in their trailers on their laptops. I'll be in hospitality on my laptop, and we'll try to chat with a couple of drivers to give you a little more insight into what's going on when we do go on track on Thursday and Friday. Thanks again, folks. I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great start to the week. It's race week. We're going racing at Road America on Thursday and Friday. Book it.